Hey guys, PepperAmmy here. This week it is almost Easter, so we are making hot cross buns. Now these are not any hot cross buns, these are sourdough hot cross buns. Now, what makes these different is, of course, you are using sourdough starter instead of yeast. And to really spice things up, the cross on top is actually going to be sourdough starter as well. Now, we want 200 grams of this sourdough starter for the actual bread, and then we want 100 grams of it for the actual crosses on top as well. So, the plan, 200 grams out of this, feed it, because this next process is going to take around about 12 hours, because you need to proof it and then proof it again once it's shaped. Now we have some nice ready to go sourdough, and then with what I fed in here I can do the crosses in the morning. So this is nice light fluffy sourdough starter ready to go. Need about 200 grams of this, which should give me about 200 grams in here, and then I should have enough scrapings left to refeed. Yeah, make start for the morning. But we're on 182. Okay, more than enough. Drop that in. Okay, so we've got a bit over. That's fine, that's what we want. I'd rather have a little bit much. That way it stands the best chance. Scrape down, get that ready to feed once this is all mixing. So to that we want to add in 150 grams of raisins. Now I should have about 150 grams left. They have been eating them. We do want to check for sticks as well, because as I say, I have been eating these. They have had a stick. Yeah, I've just spotted another one. So always be careful with your raisins. Is that another stick in a raisin, or is that just... That's just raisins stuck together. Okay. There's like a 400 gram pack or something. I'm eating a good percentage of them. 500 grams, okay. So there should be enough left in there. Ooh, that's 1 gram off. So a couple more raisins in there. There we go. Right, then we want 500 grams of bread flour. We want to tear that. So you want to use like a strong bread flour, as we want plenty of stuff for our sourdough starter to feast on. Now, of course, the sourdough starter I'm using is a 100% hydration, which is 100% water to the amount of flour. So we're going to be adding slightly less liquid in than we would normally. So I want to add in to this 200 mils of milk. Now you can use whole milk, we just have semi-skimmed, so we're using semi-skimmed. There's 200, I do believe. Should probably put this down on something flat so I can actually measure it. Yeah, we'll do. So, double make sure, tear that, add that in. Excellent. Right, and then we want around a teaspoon of cinnamon. Now, you can make this how you want. You can put like pumpkin pie spice in there or anything. If you have that to hand, that's not so common over here in the old UK. But it's going to be a bit of cinnamon. I was weighing up putting maybe a bit of ginger in there, but I'm not too sure. Don't know how adventurous I'm feeling with these. This is kind of my trial run. I've not made sourdough ones yet, so you're along for the journey. Right, so we have our raisins, we have our cinnamon, we have our flour, we have our milk. We need 2 eggs. We've got our sourdough in there, and we need 100 grams of butter. Now, also, I'm going to throw a diced egg. That's an apple. I'm going to throw a diced apple in there. Just to add to the fruitiness. Now it does want to reserve, or you can reserve, some of the egg to glaze the top. Now you can glaze it with milk, you can glaze it with butter. You can just bake as is and glaze with jam in the morning once they're baked. Right, what else are we missing? 100 grams of butter. Right, how are we going to do this? I'm using spread instead of butter. That is 32 grams. It's 66 grams. See if we can get this off the side. 85. 93. 99. 100. Close enough. Right, there we are. As always, all the ingredients, quantities, etc. description below. Right, and finally want to dice up this apple. Now, I'm going to be lazy and leave the skin on. Just because it's quite a small apple, so I feel like peeling it you're going to lose quite a bit. Give me a rough call, I'm sure I can finish that. Making this as it's slipping down my face. Yes, fairly big chunks of apple, but that is fine. It is gonna shrink as it cooks. I'm gonna say you can add orange zest. Anything you fancy. You could add chocolate chips if you want. I know the traditional contents of the it's going to mostly just be skin. Traditional contents of hot cross buns are kind of out the window these days, as I do have like rhubarb and custard, and I guess like chocolate spread kind of flavors, mystery flavors. And of course, like mince pies, there's like the finest and all of that. And I'm just messing around with sourdough. Right now, I think that's going to be too much skin just on those ones. So we want to get this on here. Get the dough hook on. If I can know which one it goes on. There we are. And then give that a good mix. Then whilst that's mixing, I'm going to make up my sourdough starter. Now I need 100 grams, so I'm going to just do a 60 gram feed. So by the morning, that should have plumped up. Or I might do 100 grams, I'm not sure, because then I still have some left. Choices. Probably do 100. But anyway, I will see you after that has mixed up. Right, so that's well mixed, has been going for about 10 minutes or so. Now, midway through the mixing process, I did remember I forgot to put in 60 grams of sugar and a pinch of salt. Now, I used my vanilla sea salt. Right, what have we got going on here? Right, we have very elastic dough. Kind of reminds me of brioche. Annoyingly, all the raisins seems to have accumulated on the outside. Oh, this is a very sticky dough. Hopefully as it hydrates, it's going to be slightly less sticky. But, either way. Right, so we want to scrape all of those raisins down. Try and get this nice and uniform-ish as you can with a dough full of dry fruit. Right, so I'm going to let that sit covered. You can use cling film, I'm just using a towel. And then hope that that doubles in size. Hopefully it's warm enough in here. It is a bit of a meh day today, but hopefully that does its thing. And we'll be back in 3 to 4 hours. Alrighty, we are back. The dough has proofed slightly. We've got some air bubbles going on. I don't know if you can see them up in the top there. But we have a floured work surface where we're going to tip this out on. It's very sticky dough. I might actually spritz some oil on my hands. Just in hopes. It's a very stretchy dough. Right now, it's going to seem really counterintuitive, but I'm going to take that out of the bowl, weigh the bowl, one, hopefully when they cook they're going to go up, or I'm just going to have a slab of hot cross bun. Either way. Anyway, that's going to go in the fridge, and I'm going to go to bed. After tidying up, of course. Alrighty, it is 6 in the morning. It is time to decorate our hot cross buns. Now, these chilled in the fridge overnight, and it took about roughly an hour before they're going in the oven. Now, you can egg wash. Right, so we have our sourdough starter ready to go. Let's give that a good mix. Try and get some of the air out of it. Oh, it is smelling ripe and ready to go. So try and get as much air out of it as possible. Right, so we want a small tip just to do the crosses. A bit larger than that. Just give it a little bit larger than that. Don't want to get too big. Right. Yeah, of course, this is a 50-50 starter, so you're not going to get that
pure white cross that you would normally get on a hot cross bun, because we do have that wholemeal in there as well. That was a little offset, so I'll readjust. Right, there we are, excuse me. So I guess the rest of that starter can go back in there. And then those go in the oven for 20 to 25 minutes, which means they're going to be ready conveniently just as I'm heading out the door to work. Alrighty, we are back. Very quickly before I run out the door to go to work. Get rid of that quickly. Ta-da! Let's get these out the oven. Ooh, steam. Ooh. And there we have it. Not quite as crisp white crosses as you would expect from a hot cross bun, but they have risen nicely. They do smell absolutely amazing. But sorry to cut this quick. As always, if you like what you saw, let me know down below with a like and a comment. If you're indeed new here, feel free to subscribe for free weekly cooking content, and I will see you all again next time. Thanks for watching.